Welcome to the Spunky Spirit Podcast. I'm your host, psychic medium Carrie Muggs. This is where we learn all things spirit, everything from spiritual gifts, awakenings, ghosts, aliens, and starseeds. Nothing is untouchable, but always fun and spunky. I am honored to be on this spiritual journey with you, so make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Hello, Spunksters, and welcome to this episode of Spunky Spirit. I am your host, Carrie Muggs, psychic medium Carrie Muggs, and today we are going to talk about your own connection to spirit. This gets really hard for people because they can't decide if it's their imagination or if they just don't even know where to start, right? And so this is why people like to go to psychic mediums, because they don't do their own connection, or they can't get their own connection, or they don't think that this connection that they have is legitimate, or it feels weird, or they can't, I don't know. They just feel like they need guidance, or they need validation, which is fine. You can go to psychic mediums for validation, but just know the thing I'm going to talk about the most, well, a lot of, is that you can go to a psychic is when a psychic tells you about your life, your career, your love life, your family, all the things that are coming up in your life. A medium will connect to the other side, and a lot of psychic mediums do both. They can do a hybrid reading where they can do both psychic, and usually what happens in my readings is ancestors come through, your loved ones come through, they give evidence of who they are, and then they just tell me all about you and what's going on in your life, which kind of validates that they're with you. But there are not all mediums. Okay, so all mediums are psychic. They also have the psychic ability, but not all psychics have the mediumship ability. So some psychics can read people and read energy, but they can't talk to or communicate with spirits. And mediums can connect and talk to spirits, but they can't. Usually all mediums are psychic, so they can also pick up stuff that's going on in your life too. So that's why sometimes psychic readings, if you go to a psychic and you're like, I want you to tell me what I should do, you have to realize that no one can make choices for you. You have to make your own choices. No spirit can come through and make choices for you. Your guides can't make choices for you. You have to make your own choices, and you have to pay the consequences for those choices. So when you go to a psychic to ask them to give you, make a choice for you, you're giving up your power. You're giving them your power. And really no psychic really should make those decisions for you, integrity-wise, unless they're just starting out and they don't really know. You need to make your own decisions, because when I do readings, I tell people all the time, your ancestors and your guides can come in through and they can guide and direct you, but they cannot make decisions for you. You have to make your own decisions. This is your journey. Now, they can give you possibilities, or they can tell you, the different outcomes, or they can say this might be the best one for this moment, the best outcome from this moment. But at the end of the day, you get to decide about your journey and the choices that you make. Also, when you decide, if you are sitting on the fence and you ask Spirit to help you, should I do this or should I do that? Spirit really can kind of show you the right way, or show you which way is easier, but your purpose is never going to change, right? If you have a certain purpose that you have, it's never going to change. And it doesn't matter what decision you make, it's going to lead you to that purpose. All roads will lead to the same. It's just one might take longer, or you might get in an accident on one, where the other one might be a little bit shorter. So they might show you the shorter road to take to that, and you'll still get to that purpose, because that purpose is meant for you, and that ship is not going to sail without you. So, and I know lots of people are like, that ship is going to sail, but what is meant for you is going to be for you. So it doesn't matter what decision you make. Now, you can take, again, the longer route that gets you there, and Spirit kind of wants you on the shorter route, right? So, but Spirit cannot do it for you. Spirit cannot make the decision for you. That's why when you're trying to make a decision, you're kind of in chaos, because you're like, I don't know what to decide. I don't know what to do. Once you decide, though, then if you're like, okay, I'm going to decide on this road, or I'm going to decide on this road, then Spirit can be like, okay, let's do it. Let's go down this road, and we're going to 100% help you get on this road and do it this way. and we're going to help you get through the accident or get through all the things that you decided to go on this road. But then if you decide to go on this road, Spirit's like, okay, let's do that then. We're going to go on this road and we're going to help you travel on this road. We're going to help you take this journey to get to that area. So it's when you fence it and you don't know, when you're sitting in the fork in the road and you don't know which way to go, that Spirit's like, we can kind of nudge you to go a certain way, but we can't make decisions for you. And so that's why you feel chaotic. That's why you feel like you don't know what to do or you don't know where to start. And so once you make the decision, then Spirit's like, let's do this. Your guides and your ancestors are like all on top of it, and they're 100% going to help you do that. So the only thing they also won't help you with is if it hurts other people, if you cause physical pain to other people, and sometimes even emotional pain, even though sometimes we have to experience that. We have to experience what it's like to hurt people's feelings, or if they hurt our feelings. That's part of growth, right? That's part of what we go through. So they don't usually get involved in stuff like that, but they can if it is involved with our spiritual growth. It's kind of a big, long thing, but the main point is you get to make your own choices. So the first thing that I would do if I was you, if I was trying to connect to Spirit or trying to connect to my ancestors, is I would create a space where you can feel safe, where there's no noise, where you feel harmony, where you feel good, a space where you can put candles, and it's most likely it's better to find the same space all the time, because once you have that feeling or that, because you don't want to, when I first started, I started at 6 a.m. in my front room in my big chair, but the lights were dim and I had candles. So later on in the day, if I was sitting in my big chair, and the TV was on, the candles weren't lit, you have to kind of create a space, like because we didn't really have a lot of room. We had 7 kids in the house and we didn't have a lot of room now I have my office and I have my at-home office that I can create this space in. But at the time I didn't. So my only option was to wake up really early in the morning when no kids were awake and sit in my front room with my big chair and sage or take some of my crystals with me. So I knew at that time in the morning and in that space in my big chair that I was going to meditate, and that it kind of just made me feel comfort. It made me feel safe. It made me feel good. So create a space that's like beautiful, that you can feel comfort, that you can feel safe. Because then later on in the day, when I would sit in the big chair, my crystals weren't there, my sage wasn't there, my candles weren't there, my journal wasn't there. I kind of had all of this in a little tote box that I would take out with me to the big chair every day in the morning. But when that wasn't there later on, it didn't feel the same. And then when the TV was on and there was chaos in the house, the big chair felt a little different, and that's okay. So if you don't have enough room anywhere wherever you live to create space, you can create a moment of space. And that's what I kind of did when I first started. And meditation was my biggest thing. Automatic writing and meditation were the easiest ways for me to connect to Spirit. And I've talked about automatic writing millions of times and meditation millions of times. If you don't know what they are, Google them. They're a sense of talking to Spirit or connecting to Spirit on your own. Automatic writing, a lot of my clients swear by automatic writing. The thing is it takes lots of practice. It doesn't happen all the time. Now, meditation was my biggest thing. So automatic writing is great for some people. Mine was meditation. And with ADHD, it was crazy because it took a lot of time and a lot of patience and a lot of practice. But the crazy thing is I started meditating when I would run. So I used to run all the time. I was a runner. I ran a marathon. I ran a couple of half marathons. And my meditation would be, and my spiritual connection would be when I was running. So that's why a lot of people like yoga. That's why a lot of people like running. Meditation it doesn't have to be a quiet meditation where you do nothing. You can actually actively meditate, walk, sit in your garden, do all those things. The space is what you need. So when I would start to, because again, I didn't have a lot of room in my house, right? And it was always chaotic. So when I kind of stopped running for a minute, then I would get into the big chair. But I would always create these times when, so I kind of just knew that I would put certain music on, and when I was running, it would be a meditation for me. So you kind of get to find out where you have that safe space, what you can create. It doesn't have to be just sitting in nothing and being quiet all the time. And if that doesn't work for you, you can use guided meditations. But to be honest, I know everybody's different, but I like to, I can only teach you what I know. And I know that the strongest connections that I ever have had to spirit are during meditation. And sometimes there's no connection. Sometimes the meditation just helps me realize that I'm in the now. And sometimes it just helps me to be in the now and to be at peace and to find that calmness and to rest and breathe. And sometimes I've had phenomenal experiences during meditation. So every day, when you do it, it's not going to be this extraordinary experience every single time. And I think that that's what people get frustrated about. But meditation just helps you practice. It helps you practice. It's like going to the gym every day to work on your physical body. Meditation is going to the spiritual gym every day and working on your spiritual sense. So meditation is and I would play games with my guides. I would say, okay, show me different visuals. And I would see pictures in my mind or symbols in my mind during meditation. And then I would say, okay, show me these throughout the day. And then I would see them throughout the day. So I did this constantly, like, I'm not kidding, probably for a year, it started out with running meditation, but then I would my husband was so funny about it because there were times when my kids would get up and I'd be like, go back to bed. This is my time. So, but for a while, I started out doing 5 or 10 minutes a day and ended up doing like an hour because I loved it so much each day. And I would do it daily. Like it was a non-negotiable for me, and I would do it all the time. And I still do meditation, but I also count my readings because I'm in the zone during readings. But I still do meditation because there's just nothing to me, there's nothing that gets me more into my spiritual place than meditation and in a certain place. So find a certain place in your house. Again, if you don't have a big house, you can do it at a certain time when you're not going to be bothered, when things are quiet. You can listen to music, instrumental music. You can light candles. You can have a journal by you. You can use crystals. Crystals will bring you up to their frequency. So if you're kind of low on your frequency that day, amethyst is really, really great to hold on to because it raises you to that frequency. So amethyst is great, clear quartz is great, and it'll raise you to that frequency and it'll help you. And also too, once in a while, try a chakra meditation that kind of helps align your chakras too, because chakras are super important to try and be balanced during meditation. Just like your body needs to feel good, your spirit needs to feel good, and those chakras are like key to that. So you find the sacred space and you meditate, and honestly, if you're not in the zone, or you can just talk or automatic write to your guides and say, okay, today I want you to show me this, and today I want you to show me this, and practice with them so that you kind of know that they can give you validation, because you always can ask for validation from spirit. You can ask them from your loved ones all the time too. Give them a couple days to respond, because they have to divinely guide. So they have to divinely correlate it. It's like that spider web on Carrie Connects that we talked about. They have to make it work. They have to weave that web so you'll see whatever you're asking for. So if you want to communicate with your father on the other side, and or you think that you've communicated with your father, you've done a meditation and you feel like your dad was there and you feel like a certain person was there during your meditation, then you could be like, okay, I need you to validate this for me. I need you to show me an owl in the next 3 days. And remember that the owl doesn't have to be real. It can be like a picture of an owl or a sticker of an owl or a shirt as somebody's. I remember one time I think I was asking spirit for a super important question. And I was like, okay, you need to show me an owl, because that's my thing. That's me and my guide and my spunky spirit. That's in line at my business, because my business has a personality too. My business has an energy, and I need to align with my business, my spunky spirit business. And so I would say, this is what I want for spunky spirit this month or today. And I need an owl. I need you to show me an owl. That's why the logo on my spunky spirit my logo is an owl. And throughout the day, I didn't see an owl. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think that this is wrong. Like, I don't know if I've made the right decision. And right before I went to bed that night, I put on Big Bang Theory. So if you've done a reading with me, I tell you, sometimes the way that I ground after readings is I go home and watch Big Bang Theory. And I'm not kidding. Leonard on Big Bang Theory had a big owl on his shirt. And I was like, there's my owl. So you have to really be aware when you ask for the signs and you ask for validations. You have to be aware of what's going on around you because that's how they talk to you, is through signs and symbols. And you don't have to wait. A lot of people say, show me a sign, show me a sign, show me a sign. And Spirit's like, showing you all these signs, but you don't know it's a sign. You don't know because you don't know pennies or signs. You don't know birds or signs. You don't know butterflies or signs. So you're like, I think there was an orb up here. So you're like, show me a sign. And Spirit's like showing you all these signs, but you have no idea what they are. So you have to tell them what to show you. You have to say, show me a dime. Let me know you're around. Show me a quarter. Show me an owl. Show me a moose. Show me, sometimes it's funny because sometimes I'll make it really difficult for them because I really want to know the answer and I want to see if they come through with that. But a lot of times when you're just starting, don't make it difficult. Make it super easy. Make it super easy for them to come through with, because when you're practicing feathers, pennies, dimes, butterflies, birds, that's always the best kind of symbols to start out with, because they're simple and they're easy for Spirit to move and to validate, and they're easy to use for validation. You can also ask for certain signs, especially if you're clairaudient, which means that you're hearing, right? And you might want to ask the signs that like go with your whatever clair you have. So if your strongest clair is clairsentient, you don't want to be like, help me feel you, because that's not validation. But if you're clairsentient and you feel like you feel your mom or your dad around after they've passed, you can say, okay, I think that this is you, Dad, but show me a dime later on today so I can validate. Talk to them. It's almost like static around you, like a radio station where you have the static. But as soon as you talk to them, it's almost like you tune into the radio station. So when you're like tuning in the old radio stations and it'd be all staticky, and then you tune into the radio station and you could hear it clearly. That's kind of what it is like when they're around you. They're like static, but then when you talk to them, it's like you can hear them more clearly. But we sometimes can hear them back, but we think it's our imagination. So always ask for validation, right? To get validation, so you know what they're trying to say back to you, or you hear something back in your head and you're like, that's my imagination. So always ask, just like, I think this is you, but I sure would like to see a dime just in case today. So that's kind of how to always connect to Spirit, because when you connect to Spirit, you also learn how to connect to your higher self. And when people say that, I always used to be like, what is my higher self? So we all have a soul. All of us have a soul. All of us, that's who we are. That's our authentic. Our spirit is a little bit different. Our spirit houses the body. Our soul's like the main battery. It's like where we come from. It's kind of like the Matrix. It's like on a different frequency it's almost like our avatar. We're the avatar, and our soul is the spirit that's playing this game. So our higher self is our soul. So when you start to connect to your soul, your higher self, and your soul can guide you, your higher self can guide you. And you also get to connect to not only your ancestors and your guides, but God, the universe. You connect and align to that too. And it's okay to ask for validation. I know in the Bible it says, do not ask for signs, but it means like, don't ask for signs for God. Don't be like, God, I want to show me that you're really there. God, I want you to show me this. If you're really there, do this. Signs for to communicate with your spirit team is completely different than trying to have God prove his presence. So, because a lot of people are like, I don't, if I, is that like, because the Bible says don't ask for signs, but that's not the same. It's not the same. The signs are you trying to make God prove that he exists when you've already got to have that faith, right? And so asking for signs and communicating with your spirit team is so okay to do that. And also too, a lot of people are like, but if I talk to my spirit guides and I talk to my ancestors, am I bypassing God? No, because they all work together. They all work as one. We all are one. We all work together. So if you talk to your spirit guides and you're talking to your spiritual team, God's going to know. God's going to know what's going on. It's like there is no hierarchy in the spirit realm that I know of. but they can communicate with, they're in constant communication with source all the time, or God, or universe. So you're not bypassing anybody. Okay. Now, so you ask for evidence. Now, when you connect to spirit, you connect to your ancestors, you connect to spirit guides, you connect to your soul, you connect to God, to the universe, then that's when you're getting your soul guidance. That's when they can guide you. They can help guide you and help you make those decisions. They won't make those decisions for you, but they can help make those decisions. So that's how you tap into all around you, everything spirit, so you can be guided on your journey and have some soul guidance. Because soul guidance and your spirit guidance is so important, because sometimes we just don't know what to do, and sometimes it can feel so chaotic and we feel lost and we feel like we're on this journey and everybody knows where they're going. And I'm not kidding you, everybody, I said this on my last Carrie Connects, everybody is a little lost, everybody is a little crazy, everybody is a little messed up. The difference is they hide it better. They pretend they know where they're going, or they act like they know where they're going, or at the time they might know where they're going. But sometimes it's not, they don't always 100% know where they're going all the time. They may have a goal, but they get stuck sometimes. Everybody goes through this. You are not alone. You are not the only one. So just remember that. And so to help you on this journey and give you soul guidance, the best way to do that is to connect to spirit. And I know people struggle with this, because some people struggle because either they don't like to meditate, or they don't. It's just like trying to lose weight. You don't want to go to the gym. You don't want to eat right. So it's not easy. Spiritual growth and spiritual connection is not easy. And I will be honest, there was a year before I started doing readings that I would meditate for an hour every day. I would. It's just, and I feel bad saying that it was practice. But I also had lots of practice growing up, because I had a lot of commotion and chaos going on in my home when I was little. So I always had to be in tune. I always had to feel psychically what was going on between my parentals and my family and my sibling. And I always had to feel that to feel safe, because there was a lot of kind of chaos going on in our house. So I always had to feel that. So I was constantly practicing connecting, constantly, since I was 5 years old. So don't feel like you don't have the gift, or you can't connect. You can. We all can. We all have that gift. If you had kids, would you just give some of them the phone to talk to you? Or would you give all of them the phone, but whether or not they picked it up was up to them, right? So that's the same with the universe. That's the same with Source and our spirit team. All of us have these phones. All of us have these gifts to connect. But whether we actually do the work to pick up the phone and talk to them is up to us. It's our choice. It's up to us, and it's up to us to practice and to work to find that soul guidance. So that's how you pick up the phone. How do you pick up the phone? You meditate, you automatic journal, you go on nature walks, you do everything you can. Some people like to fish. That's where they feel connected. Some people like to be outdoors. That's where they feel connected. You figure out where you feel connected, and where you feel connected to God, and to Source, or whatever you want to call it. You figure out what it is that makes you feel connected, and then you start doing that. Start practicing that almost daily to feel connected and to get the answers that you need, and to feel at one with the universe or with everybody. And then that's when you'll feel more guidance and more protected and safer. And even then, it's not always like, I still have days where I get a little sad or depressed, or I have anxiety. It's not always 100% rainbows and roses every single day. There's days that I wake up and I feel a little anxious about what's coming up for the next couple days, or I get sad because something happened, or there was a time I got depression. It runs in our family. So just know that spiritual guidance is great and it helps you, but you can also be human. You also are human, and you can also have these feelings, and spirit connection helps you with that, and it helps guide you through that. But it's also okay to get off the path of your journey once in a while. The thing about the spiritual connection is you get back on quicker. Your spirit team, you have your blueprint that you created in the pre-existence. And when you get off the path, your guide's trying to, or you get off the blueprint, which is the path, your guides try and get you right back on as soon as they can. And sometimes it takes work, and sometimes sometimes it can be pretty fast, and sometimes it takes a lot of work. It's like one of my friends call it the deep dark of the soul, or something like that. Like, it can be, but you're going to have those deep, dark soul nights anyway. So why not have them with a connection that you have to your higher self, or to your team, or to your ancestors, or to God. So I hope that helps you guys. I know lots of people have been asking me about this, and I think next time we're going to talk about a little bit of reincarnation, because I know I've had some clients that have gone to other mediums and even to me, and reincarnation has come up and they get confused about that. So maybe next time we will talk about reincarnation a little bit more in depth to help people understand a little bit more. It will be pretty deep, so just know, because this podcast can get pretty deep. And this summer, I am having more guests. We're going to talk about it's coming. I have a psychic investigator coming, which is going to be awesome. I also have one, I talk about the grief, and I think I'm going to have some of one of my clients' families on a lot. I think Ryan Olson, the one I talk about, that his family, and some of them will come on. And then I'm also going to have Akashic Records. So watch this summer, because I'm really going to try and step it up and talk more about stuff. And we're going to get really deep, and we're going to get really out there. I've kind of been treading on the deep and the out there, but you know what? It is what it is, and it's truth. So it's what I feel, and what I kind of know, and what I've been called to bring forward. So be ready, because it's going to be fun. So get ready, Spunksters, because here we go. So I will talk to you guys. Oh, I have a manifestation class coming up June 27th. It is in person. It is in Idaho Falls, and it is at the Spunky Spirit Wellness Center. Tickets are going fast, but there's still room. And yes, I have been really busy reconstructing my house, remodeling my house. If you've followed me on Instagram, you've seen that I've been eating breakfast with like no table, no floors, nothing. And so it's been kind of busy, but I promise I will put up another event soon. My daughter's also getting married, and there's a baby coming in August too. So I will put up another event where a Spunky Spirit event, where you come and I do readings for 2 hours for a group of people. And there's also group readings available too. So there you go. That's what's on the agenda. So I love you guys so much, and I hope this helped you, and I hope so much that you remember that you have everything you need inside of you. As much as you want to learn and be guided and directed from all this people and spiritual stuff, you also just listen to yourself, listen to your intuition and trust that, because you have everything you need already inside you. I love you so much, and I mean it so much, and I know I wouldn't be here without you guys, and I will talk to you guys next week.